Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the It's a World Out There podcast. We're thankful that you're listening. And pretty much to start off this one, today this one was an idea that I've had before. I'll start from the beginning. So Dallas recently, like a month ago, was like, hey, we should do a podcast. And I'm like, oh, I've thought about that before. But Dallas was just the man that brought him up. So props to him.
Thank
But
you.
it all goes back to when I worked landscaping, and I would sit there and mow lawns, listen to music, and I was left alone with my thoughts. And one of my thoughts was exactly what we're doing today, which is actually pretty exciting for me. So this one, pretty much what we're doing is we're doing pretty much a time capsule for our future selves. So we're just going to be asking questions about like how we are right now and how we think we'll be in the future. Anything to add?
Well, this is one that I've really been excited for and looking forward to, because I know that was one of the first ideas that was thrown out there.
Yeah.
I know we decided to wait a little bit, and I'm happy we did. I'm most happy we're able to, it's time that we're able to do this now.
And I think this episode is more going to be geared towards that, like when we look back on the podcast, I think this is the episode that we'll look back on and listen to.
I agree.
But the podcast as a whole was meant to be kind of a time capsule type thing that we all can look back on and say, hey, we did that in like 5 years or whatever. But this episode, like Carter and Dallas were saying, is going to be specifically geared towards when we look back on it later, seeing how we've changed or how our opinions or ideas about the world have changed since then. And so that's basically how this one is going to roll. We have questions that we're going to be answering and just discussing that we think are going to be insightful for just our ideas about things and
Also entertaining.
Entertaining as well, hopefully.
Yeah.
But we have a series of some not so serious questions that we're going to ask that are just kind of like normal, like just what do you think questions.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of like icebreaker questions. But then we have a couple of deeper questions that are going to be some big discussion points. So
Yeah.
So we'll start off pretty simple.
Do you want to do a non-serious one first?
Yeah.
Carter, you want to ask it?
Yeah, so at this moment in time, favorite soda/beverage?
Okay, I'll start. I think when it comes to soda, I think I'm a Mountain Dew man with Dr. Pepper in a close second. But recently,
Dang.
like for the last few months, I've been really into the Arizona drink,
Yeah.
the Mucho Mango.
It's
My
solid.
mom brought home 3 of those the other day, and I've never been more excited. So
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a man of many sodas. I like all the there hasn't been a soda that I didn't like. Like
yeah,
anybody would give me a soda and be like, "Oh, you want Pepsi? Yes. You want cream soda? Sure. Sprite? That's good."
yeah.
I like all sodas. I've been trying to drink less soda for the past like little while, so I haven't had as much.
Yeah, weren't you guys both off of it for like a solid month?
Yeah.
I took a month off from
Yeah.
it, and I don't drink it as much as I used
Yeah.
to still.
But I agree with Dallas. I think my number 1 and 2 are always switching between Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew. It really just depends on what mood I'm in. Like
Yeah,
Dr. Pepper is a comfort soda, I think. It's like
It's a solid soda.
I would
it's
agree
like
with that.
I'm just
yeah.
chilling in my room, watching YouTube or doing something. Like I'm just gonna be sitting down, just hanging out. I'm gonna have a Dr. Pepper, and
when
I'm
I
gonna
look
have a
through
good time.
life, there's just a Dr. Pepper through each of those just
Mhm.
cutscenes
Yeah.
in my mind.
Yeah, just the laid back soda. It's just you're chilling. But then Mountain Dew, it's like I'm on the lake. I'm like in between going on like the wakeboards and like tubing and stuff. I'm gonna be drinking a Mountain Dew.
Whenever I'm trying to game,
Yeah,
that's when I have
too.
the Mountain Dew.
So it's one of those two most of the time, but it just depends on the situation, to be honest.
This isn't necessarily a soda tier list, but I would just like to say that I prefer like Code Red Mountain Dew over regular Mountain Dew. Like I don't know what
I
it is
like
with
Voltage.
the regular.
I like all.
like
Once again, I
Voltage.
like all of them, but
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair. You can't really go wrong. At the end of the day, it's just soda.
yeah.
Mhm.
For me, I would probably have to say it's either Dr. Pepper or cream soda. But throw them
Cream
together.
soda is so
Love
good.
cream
Throw them
soda.
together. I'll take it.
You
That's
know,
bomb.
my family loves that, but me and my dad, we're the Dr. Pepper purists. Like we don't
mess
like them
around.
mixed together.
Yeah, man, I love all soda so
Yeah.
much. Like, now I'm thinking about cream soda. I'm thinking about Sprite now. I think about
Sprite.
Barks, root beer. That stuff is so good. I
For
don't
the
know.
longest time, I was a Gatorade person.
Yeah,
like,
you
Gatorade's
were.
still it's
Yeah,
solid.
I'm still one of those people.
We'd go to QT, and everybody would get like sodas and
drinks for,
fountain
like,
drinks,
$1.
and
I'm
Carter
like-
would just go in there and grab his 2 for like $2.49 Gatorades, and I'm just like, wow.
There's a one point when I had 8 things of Gatorade in my closet.
Yeah.
But I would have to say that my favorite beverage is the Blackberry Wave Gatorade.
I don't know if I've had that one before.
They don't sell it at QT anymore. It
I
kinda
like
makes me sad, but I
the
think it's good.
Arctic Freeze
Arctic
one.
Freeze. Is that the white one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's good.
or
I
like
like
the
that one
light
as
blue
well.
one maybe. I don't know. It is good. Gatorade's good.
So do we want to move on to a more serious
Yeah.
question now?
I'll ask a
Yeah,
less.
you go.
So let's see. And just so you guys are aware, we have a list here that we're looking off of. So I'm just gonna pick one of these. Let's go with this. What is your greatest fear? This is vague, so it could be anything.
I'll start.
Large umbrella, yeah.
Yeah, I think one of my greatest fears, because I feel like growing up, I was always told that I was going to be like this big leader and someone that is like going to do great things. And I guess one of my biggest fears is not living up to that standard and like letting everyone down.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've been thinking a lot about because I'm heading to college and I'll be in my mission in less than a year. And like it's comforting to know that I think I'm on the right track, but it's always like been in the back of my mind like, okay, I have to like do all these great things, I guess, and like I have an idea of who I want to be, and I don't want to let myself and everyone else down.
Mm-hmm. And just the fear of disappointing others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of expectations. I feel like,
Yeah.
especially
I would
for
agree.
us, like, I think a lot of it stems from our parents and like the adults that we know, like saying that we're like great kids and stuff like that. And that just, I don't feel like I'm that exceptional of a person. I just feel like I'm a normal guy.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's
Kind of put some pressure on us.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's not that it's a bad thing, because I always appreciate.
because the pressure can
Appreciate it,
make us
but-
do it. It helps us to
Yeah.
become better, but
Yeah.
also it's like,
A little nerve-wracking sometimes.
yeah.
Me and Dallas were kind of talking about this last night. Like, we see, like, people, like, grades above us or, like, older people that we know, like, maybe 2 or 3 years older. And our parents are, like, sometimes, like, hey, why aren't you kind of just like them? Like, but they're also probably thinking the same thing. Like,
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
we look up to, they probably have that same thought in our minds. Or in their minds.
Yeah, I'd look up at like sometimes like when I was a freshman, I'd look at the seniors and I'd be like, man, they really seem like they have it all figured out, huh?
Yeah.
And now
You're
having
there.
been a senior and like even when I was a junior, like people would like tell me like, you seem like you know what you're doing. I'm like, I really don't. I'm just like trying to figure it out just as much as you are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's I think that the fear of disappointing others or like not meeting your expectations that other people have set for you is very realistic.
Yeah.
I'll go next. Mine's kind of, it's not cheesy, but it's just kind of like, I feel like
Spiders.
losing like a friend or like a family member before their time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just kind of scary to me because like you just never really know.
Yeah.
Like one of our friends, their cousin, like got in a accident because a drunk driver hit them and they had both their legs amputated. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that could literally happen to anyone, and it's just
Yeah.
crazy to think.
That's a reason my mom like never lets me, like wants me driving out late,
Mhm.
because like being on the road is dangerous.
Stuff
I,
like that happens too often.
yeah, I definitely agree. Like you never know when your time or when like other people's times are. So I think it's like for me, whenever I'm like leaving someone, it's not that I have the idea of, oh, like this could be the last time I see you, because I feel like that's kind of pessimistic.
Mhm.
But I always have the thought like I want to leave on good terms and let everyone know that I care about them, because you do never know, to be honest.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, in one way or another, everybody experiences something along those lines at some point. Whether it's like, it's not necessarily going to be like you lose someone who you feel like you lost them when they weren't supposed to, it wasn't their time yet or not, but it's just like you lost somebody close to you when you weren't prepared for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I think whether early on or later on, I think that happens to everybody in one way or another. And it's just like that thing that I'm always like, okay, well, when is it gonna happen to me? Like,
Yeah.
when is someone that I'm really close to I'm gonna lose somebody, and I don't know if I'm prepared for that or not, and I don't know who it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty reasonable as well. So I'll go last. I think, I don't know, it's hard because before I would have said, like in the past when people have asked me this question, I've said being alone is my greatest fear.
Like in what sense?
Not
Like-
not like not
Partner.
like
Like not getting married? Or
no,
like,
not like, well, yes, but not necessarily. Just like, I think getting like, this isn't like a fear, like a realistic fear, but like getting like stranded somewhere
Oh.
and like being alone, like like castaway, like really alone
yeah.
for like a long time.
Yeah.
Like I definitely used to have a very large fear of that, but now I would say not as much, just because that's not very realistic. But I think one of the things that I've been afraid of and like very like wary of over the past like this year and last year was like making a wrong choice and like a big choice in my life.
Yeah.
Like right now, I have a lot of big choices that I have to make. I was literally talking about this with like my dad or somebody yesterday. Like I have a lot of really big choices that I have to make in the next like 5 years. Where to go to college, when to go to college, when to go on a mission,
Yeah.
who to marry, like all a bunch of stuff like that. And it's like I don't want to
Mess that up.
if I mess that up, that messes up the rest of my that can mess up the rest of my life. Like that
Yeah.
scares me so much.
Yeah, because these next 5 years, like, are basically
Determine
gonna
a lot-
shape our
yeah.
entire life.
I know.
I think
And
about
it's
stuff.
so
I
scary.
feel like every choice we make carries a pretty big impact, and that, yeah, I definitely understand, because I've had some like same
Mhm.
thoughts.
Yeah.
So
When I think about that stuff, like I think about it like that as well. But I also think of like, well, I didn't choose the other decision, so therefore I don't know how the other decision would go. It might have been the wrong
Yeah.
decision, but you just never know. So that's why it's kind of hard.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely one of those things that it's hard to like wrap your mind around. It's like you think about it, and because one of the examples of it is when like choosing where to go to school. I was
Mhm.
talking to one of my other friends about this recently. I was just talking to her about like where to go to school, like where she was going, where I was going, and like why. And I talked about how like I was choosing between going to BYU, Idaho, MCC, or ASU because I had already not gotten into Provo, which I knew I wasn't going to. But
yeah,
so I was just choosing between those three, and I couldn't make up my mind for a long time. And I finally talked to like my bishop or my dad or somebody like that, and they told me that I shouldn't worry about it as much because all three of those are good choices. And so if you just pick one and then go with it, it'll probably be fine.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely stress and worry too much about, stuff like that. But I think,
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
yeah, I
though.
think it's realistic though.
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay, are you satisfied? I'll pick the next question.
Yeah.
For a
Sounds good.
non-serious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are you excited for coming up in life?
I'll go first. I'm probably, honestly, with all the decisions, kind of like what they've said coming up in life, I think what I'm most excited for is like all those decisions to be over. Like, I just want life to be on its course, and I just want to go from
Yeah.
there. Like, just, I don't know. Obviously, I feel like it's like once I'm set, but like, I don't know, just getting past those decisions and just having the rest of my life ahead of me I don't know, it's just kind of exciting because I don't know what's going to happen and
Yeah.
room to grow and things are going to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very
I feel like that's pretty
It's a-
reasonable.
It's a vague answer,
Yeah,
but it's kind of what I feel.
Yeah. Especially because I feel like when we're older and we have like our careers ahead of us and we already have like kids and a family, it's like, okay, now I kind of know what I'm doing with my life. I'm
Mhm.
chilling. I just gotta
In some
not
way,
mess
yeah.
it up.
yeah. That's kind of true. I think that's a very like overarching like answer that's like good that encompasses a lot of things. I think
Yeah.
for me more specifically, what am I excited for coming up in my life? I think well, most immediately college cuz we're leaving in like less than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Both of us will be gone in less than 3 weeks to college.
Yeah.
You even sooner.
Yeah. This is my last full week here in Arizona.
Yeah, as of recording this, Dallas is leaving in a week and 2 days.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So as excited as I am for college, I'm also apprehensive about going because it's going to be the first time that I'll be like living on my own.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of fear and excitement wrapped all together in this very confusing knot for college.
It's fair though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I think what I'm most excited for at this moment is going on a mission because there won't be I feel like after college when I've already experienced living on my own for a little while and have like figured out how to like do some things on my own, going on a mission, I feel like there won't be as much of that fear of leaving to be out by myself as
And
I'm going
learning.
because I've done it before.
Yeah. You'll have some more experience.
And so I'll be more just less worried and more excited to just go and serve and do all the things that I want to do on a mission. So I think at least in the next few years, that's the thing that I'm most excited about right now.
Yeah. And my answer is kind of similar to yours. For everyone that knows, I just got the Melchizedek priesthood yesterday, and I've already been able to give a blessing. And I was talking to my ministering brother, and basically we were just talking about like his mission and like mine upcoming mission, and it just made me like. I've had other experiences like ministering or just serving or stuff like that just made me really excited for my mission, and it's kind of like rejuvenating my spirits because sometimes I think about my mission, I'm like, man, that's gonna be like a long, hard 2 years.
It's a long time to be
It's gonna
gone.
be tough, and I'm nervous, and I don't want to mess it up, and this and that. But the more I've been thinking about it, the more excited that I've been for that, and the more I look forward to the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, and I'm also excited for college because I think that'll be a really cool experience. And again, I'm nervous for that as well.
Yeah,
But I think
it's nerve-wracking.
It'll be good. And I'm also excited to find like my spouse in life, I guess. Like cuz I have a lot of big things that I want to do, and I think it'll be cool once I can find the person that wants to do those with me, I guess.
I'll go next. So since we're okay, I forgot to mention this at the start, but like in the future, we also want to do this, like, and ask kind of the same questions, just kind of ask ourselves and like compare like how we've changed. And so the next question is like, what skills do you have now, or like what skills do you want to learn for the future?
I'll go first for this one. So, skills that I have now. This is something that I've always been like. I've always felt like I don't have very many skills. Like I don't play any instruments. I'm not particularly good at any particular like sport or physical activity.
Don't have sweet skill.
Yeah, I don't like. I can't speak another language. I'm not like super musically like or any of that like stuff that like a lot of people are like, oh, those are like really cool talents. And so I've always been like, I don't know like what stuff I'm good at. Like I don't know. So some skills that I want to have, I definitely, I don't know. I think it would be cool to know another language and I think it could be really useful as well. And I've taken, like, obviously, like a lot of people do, Spanish in high school. So I know, like, un poquito español. I know a very small amount of Spanish.
Bueno.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all extremely white, by the way. But I think, and I don't know if I'll ever, go, like, if I go on a mission somewhere or another language speaking, I don't know if I'll ever, like, gain that skill, but it's definitely a skill that I would like to have at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I'll go next. Kind of same with Tyler. I'm not super skilled at a ton of stuff. And, like, for the skills that I have now, I want to, like, expound, kind of. And one of those things is, like, piano. Like, I play piano now, and I'm not amazing. Like, I'm no child prodigy. But I just want to learn some more songs. So if I sit down at, like, a piano, I can just plop out some fun songs. If there's, like, a lull or something, I don't know. And
That'd be cool.
I kind of like what Tyler said. I want to learn a language. Like, I took Spanish as well, but yeah, I didn't pursue it, and it's just kind of hard. But yeah,
Yeah, learning a new language is not easy.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a big accomplishment.
It would be. Yeah, it would take a lot of concentration and, like, effort to master a new language.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, with Carter, it's not necessarily, I don't think it's something that I'll be able to do in 5 years, or maybe even 10, but something that my great aunt is able to do on the piano is she can play ragtime.
Oh.
Like, it doesn't even have anything memorized. She just goes up and knows, like, keys, and is able to just, like, play. And I think that is so cool. So I think something that I, like, want to learn is I want to learn music theory.
Music theory is so hard.
I know it's really difficult, and it'd take a lot of time, but I think learning that would be cool, because that'd help with, like, the piano, and I'm learning the guitar right now. I'm not very good, so when I do this again in 5 years, future self, you better be better at guitar. But, and also, again, with both of you, I also want to learn Spanish. That's been a desire of mine for a while now, and now that I'm out of high school, it's like, well, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do this now.
Yeah.
So.
Are you wanting to learn Spanish as well, Tyler? Or just kind of...
I mean, I already know, like, the
A
basics
little,
of Spanish-ish. Like, I'm familiar with it already, so I feel like it would be hard, but it wouldn't be, like, super difficult as, like, compared to learning, like, German or a language that I'm not familiar with at all.
French.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
It is
feel
so
like-
confusing, dude.
I feel like I retained nothing from Spanish, so I feel like I have a clean slate.
Yeah.
But I want to learn, like, French or, like, Mandarin.
French would be, yeah.
I think
cool.
French it sounds cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bonjour.
I'm not even going to say
That's all I got.
anything. So I'll be labeled as racist.
They call me fluent.
They call me French.
Yeah, I think the day that you could, like, wake up, though, and you start dreaming in another language, that's gonna be, that's so cool.
That's a new level.
Yeah, that's a new level.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess one more thing to add. This isn't, like, a serious skill that I want to learn, but I think it would be cool if I could get my words per minute on the computer up to
a typing master.
100. That's the goal.
Right now. Yeah.
I know
my
it's kind of
average was, like,
goofy.
I
but-
mean, we're going to
68.
college. I think we're gonna bump those numbers up a little bit.
Yeah,
right now,
I
my
agree.
words per minute with typing is like 70.
yeah,
An
Especially
average.
with online where you're all typing.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So I
I
don't
want
know.
to get better at hacky sack.
Oh,
You're already pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to be better.
For the record, Carter is pretty good at hacky sack.
And me and Dallas are pretty mediocre at
Yeah,
hacky sack.
I feel like getting good at hacky sack would be pretty nice too.
Yeah. Those are just some little skills
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be cool to have.
yeah. I also think learning how to write with do stuff with my left hand, become
Yeah.
ambidextrous would be pretty cool.
One thing that I tried for like a week and then I gave up because I had no patience.
Yeah.
Was I tried like pretending I was left-handed for like a week. So I would like
I've done that as well.
I didn't write because I was at school and I literally couldn't. So
Yeah.
I would do it like when I was at home doing like homework. But I'd put my phone in my left pocket. I'd use my phone with my left hand and I just would start doing stuff with my left hand that I
Yeah.
normally do with my right hand that I could manage to do. And I got pretty good at it after a while. It still felt uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but I
A
could
little bit
manage.
more familiar. Than
Yeah,
yeah.
I was more familiar with my left hand. And another thing that helped with that was basketball.
Oh yeah, handling the ball.
Because dribbling with the left hand and then like shooting, like doing like layups and stuff like that with the left hand also helped me become more comfortable with my left hand and like my left arm.
Yeah.
Thinking about that, that'd be so weird. Like opening doors with your left hand instead of your right.
Yeah, I feel like the world isn't meant for lefties. Like, isn't built around. 'Cause
Yeah.
mainly
It's
everyone's
also not built for
right-handed.
tall people, but that's a discussion for another time.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I think being ambidextrous would be very useful.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually, I kind of did the same thing as well, like falling in the left pocket. But actually, I took a lot of time trying to get good at writing with my left hand. And I actually, after a little while, I was actually able to write left-handed, sometimes better than I could right-handed.
Dang.
That's surprising.
In junior
But just,
high.
I think the reason though, sorry Carter to cut you off, but
No, you're good.
with my right hand, I feel like I just get sloppy sometimes because it's just like repetitive and I do it. But when I was writing with my left hand, I was like, okay, doing an O, I gotta go in a circle. Like, I'd like think about it so hard. And since I was like thinking about it, it like looked a little bit nicer. But-
Yeah. In junior high, we were in English class, and our teacher, she had us write like this paragraph with our left hand, and like she went and looked at everyone's, and like everyone was just awful because, or she's like, use your offhand. So most of us were using our left hand, and after she was just like, so the way you felt right now is kind of how like people with Down syndrome like kind of feel all the time. Like obviously it's kind of different for like everyone, but like that's kind of how it is, just unable to like control it. And it was kind of a cool thought. I know that had nothing to do with anything we were talking about, but
That's so
if
cool.
we were on it, I thought it was a cool thing.
All right. I'll ask the next question. So we have some non-serious questions, but I'm kind of feeling staying on a serious note here. So let's go with what accomplishments are you most proud of from, and there's a couple of different time frames we have listed here. So we could say the last few months, your entire life, or your teenage years. So I'll start with saying, let's just go, what are your most, like, your most proud of accomplishments over your teenage years? So, like, I would say starting from, like, freshman year or, like,
Okay.
maybe 8th grade till now.
Okay. I can start with this one. I think one thing that I'm really proud of that I did, like, over my teenage years, was getting my Eagle, because that was something that took, like, a really long time to get.
Yeah.
And I feel like that applies to most, like, everyone
Yeah.
that got
has
it.
gotten their
That has
goal.
gotten it, yeah. So that's one thing I'm proud of. I guess another thing that I'm proud of was being able to graduate school. And I always knew I was going to be able to, because I was fortunate enough to, like, get pretty good grades without, like, trying very hard.
Yeah.
But, like, definitely, like, especially once we went online, like, I was just happy I was able to, like, put in the work and just, like, make sure I got everything done, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with most of those. I think I was thinking about Eagle as well because all of us, so each one of us have our Eagles, and
Mhm.
we are all Boy Scouts, and we
Yeah.
devoted a lot of time,
Yeah.
a lot of time, not just us, but our parents and like
Mm-hmm.
People who helped us.
It was
Yeah.
and
very
stuff.
large.
it was a group
process.
effort, but we ourselves individually also like put a lot of time and effort into, moving up in Boy Scouts and then eventually getting our Eagle Scouts.
Yeah.
And that's something that I was proud of. I was really proud of my Eagle project as well because I saw the benefit of it and saw how it helped people.
Yeah.
And another thing that I'm proud of as well, especially like as far as physical things go, there's two main physical things that I did as a teenager that I was not anticipating me to be able to do as well as I did. And that was, I did Trail Ragnar one time when I was like 14 or so.
Mhm.
And then me and Carter participated in a 50-20, which basically is walking 50 miles in 20 hours, which
It was miserable.
much harder than it sounds.
Yeah.
And so we did the 50-20 when we were probably 13, 12
Yeah.
maybe.
Around
Pretty
then.
a long time ago. And at the time, it was pretty daunting. Like, and I made it. I didn't know how far I was going to make it, but we started off with, I think there was 12 people or 9 people maybe in our group.
I think there's 12.
I think there's 12, and we ended up
With like 4.
4 people finished. In the 4 people
From your
finished
group.
like the entire thing. So,
Oh.
and then I
Only
was
4 finished the
only
entire
4
thing?
out of 12 finished
they
the whole
had
thing,
to
and they had to
run.
run the last mile and a half.
Wait, there were only 12 people that did the 50-20?
In our group. Well, we just did it ourselves, like organized it
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Carter's dad organized it, and so
Oh,
we just
okay.
walked. We had like a route planned, and we had a group planned too, and so there's.
We did an extra 2 miles because we messed up the route.
Yeah, I think. So I'm pretty sure we started off with 12 people in our group that were doing it. It was friends and then like some coworkers of
Yeah.
like Carter's dad's.
Hmm.
And then the only people that finished was,
My dad and my mom.
and then one
One of my dad's coworkers, and then, wasn't it Brayson's aunt?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah. It was
So
crazy.
regardless, it was just 4 people, and they were all like relatively in shape adults. So, and I was the last one to drop out of it too, which was
Tyler was struggling. He
I
like,
was
threw
I
up.
really yeah
We all had like knee braces on, like we were all just dying.
it was not a
Yeah.
good time.
That sounds so miserable.
Tyler was delusional. He started vlogging.
Yeah, it
And
was.
Tyler's
it was,
not really like a camera person.
No,
I
I'm
wouldn't
not.
Say.
It was that was like halfway through, and it was not a good time. But I made it to 47.5 miles, and I wanted to finish so bad. But I remember like I was chafing really bad. I had blisters all over my feet. My knees were hurting, and then I was like, I wasn't dehydrated, but I was just like really tired
It's just
Yeah.
exhaustion.
and was so exhausted. I like couldn't. I like stopped for like once, and I almost threw up, and then I couldn't keep going because they had to run, and I was like, I could not do that. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And-
impressive you did it for as young
I
as you
know.
were.
So
though.
I'm still like for the shape that I was in and how young I was. The fact that I walked 47 miles in like 19 hours, I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
And then for Ragnar, me and Carter also did this together. We did Trail Ragnar when we were like 14, I think.
Yeah, that was a blast.
It was really fun, actually. But I'm not a runner. And so running, I think in total we had 16 miles per person. Because we had the big leg that was
Yeah,
7 miles,
around
and then
that.
like 2 small ones that were like
4 and 5.
4 and 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was not a runner at the time. I still am not. Never have been.
Yeah.
And so being able to do that, like, and have like moderately good like times on my runs, at the time I was really proud of that, and I still am. And so that's just those are the 2 main like physical things outside of like sports that are like, I think of like, man, okay, I did that.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if you did them again, how your times would differ, or if you were like
Oh, I'd do
walked to do
way
the
better.
50.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah.
Like I did good for then, but like I'm way better than I was now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, one of the things that I'm most proud of is my freshman year for tennis. I got second in state,
Yeah.
which
I
was
thinking about
actually
that.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like it took like all day, and I had to beat like 2 people from my team to get to that spot. And then for the final game, I lost to someone on my team, which was actually like way more cool because like we still won state. It was just like, oh, our team made it top 3 spots, and there's no way that our team isn't going to win state. But for
Mhm.
me getting second, like yeah, you're the winner of the losers, but like for me it was awesome getting that far.
Yeah, that's super
You
good.
still say you're better than, like, everyone else.
Yeah.
Basically. That's cool.
Yeah, Eagle Scout, Ragnar, all the things that I've said before.
Yeah. And I did not do Ragnar or the 50-20 with you guys, but I have completed a triathlon.
Yeah.
I guess that's...
And
Yeah.
another thing that all of us did too, or no, Dallas wasn't there.
What is
Trek.
Yeah, I was in New York over trek.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe this guy?
No.
Dude, I was doing my own trek, dude. I walked so much in New York. Dude.
Yeah,
Straight to New
fair.
York.
Yeah.
We're all in the dirt and he's like, I had to walk like 5 miles to the subway with my hot dog.
But yeah, me, like, we were 15, I think, when we did that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Maybe 16.
I feel like
yeah,
we were
I think it was
16.
16.
Might have been 16. I don't know.
But it was legitimately hard.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
yeah,
We
it
were
was,
16.
it was definitely challenging for sure. How many miles was it? Was it 26?
Ours, I don't know. Ours got cut short because
Yeah.
of the rain and like the storming.
I want to say it might have been 13 miles. Or was it more? I don't remember how
I
much
don't know,
it
but
was.
you're still pulling all your stuff
We were-
in a
yeah,
huge
we were-
hand cart.
Yeah, hand carts and like not comfortable clothes, hot
Yeah.
outside, up hills, down hills, like rough terrain.
They
like,
did give out homemade beef jerky though,
Yeah,
and that stuff.
pretty good.
I don't think anything will ever beat it.
Yeah, and did have orange slices too, and I was pretty proud of that.
Those are cool.
So those are just some things that I think of when people are like, "What are your biggest accomplishments?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I did.
I feel like for where we're at, like
That's
those are
pretty
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like graduating high school, it's like that's pretty good, but
It's-
like
everyone's done
most
it.
people graduate high school.
Okay, you guys
Yeah.
don't need to rub it in, okay, guys?
Okay, well,
Yeah, Carter
Most- I
dropped
said most
out. He's
people.
not. Just kidding.
This is a
This
lie.
man's still
I have a
senior.
brain, okay?
He's
I'm
just a year
not
behind.
a bum.
Okay. Do you want to move on to the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. So for this one, we'll do. Are you guys thinking like non-serious, and we'll do serious and
I
call
think
it there?
I think we can do 2 more questions. So
Yeah, do one
Yeah.
and okay. That's what I was thinking as well. Okay, so for the last non-serious question, cabin in the woods or beach house?
So this has been not highly debated, but like we've
Me-
talked about it a lot with our bald friends.
yeah, Carter and I and our bald humans have talked about this one a couple of times. I'll go first with this one. So this question, so it's like cabin in the woods or beach house, and that's like, I think for this particular scenario, I think we're saying you don't live there, you just own one of those.
You vacation there.
You have the you just vacation there. You had the
Yeah.
opportunity to like.
Before you answer, knowing your answer now, has it always been the same or have you switched?
It's always been the same.
Okay, and
So-
also how I think of this is, would I rather go to the beach or go to the woods? That's my thought process behind it.
I definitely consider that, but I also am considering like,
The vibe.
yeah, there's different atmospheres, just having a house in the woods and having a house on the beach. And so for me, it's very easy which one I would rather have, and I would much rather have a cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And that's
Tyler hates the sand. It's itchy. It gets all over.
I like the beach, but I get sunburned easily, as I recently learned. And also, I'm OCD about being clean, so I don't like being like uncomfortable and like dirty. And so like the sand at the beach is very annoying to me. So as much as I like going to the beach, I'm like one long day beach person. I don't like to go like a bunch of days in a row for like 7 hours every day. But like I love the woods so much.
Mhm.
So, and I also am not a people person. I don't like being around large groups of people. So like going to the beach where there's a billion people everywhere you look is not necessarily my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the woods, it's very easy to
Get away.
get away from
seclude.
people
Yeah,
and just
that's
have like
fair.
quiet and just be able to do like kind of what you want. So, and I like the cold, and typically
It's colder.
it's cold
Cooler.
in the
Of
woods.
course, Yeah.
So I definitely am a cabin in the woods type of person.
So for me, my answer has also always been the same. And like thinking about it, like so I'm just gonna say it. Mine I'll choose the beach house every time. And when I think about it, there's a lot more cons than pros with the beach house. But like I feel like the fun that I have at the beach just like outweighs those cons and like
Mhm.
I'd love to just chill there every day. I like the beach.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I respect that.
See, you guys have been discussing this for a long time with your dads. This is one that I've
we haven't
Well,
discussed it for a
well-
long time. We discussed it like once or twice.
once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely go both ways,
Yeah.
but if I just have to give an answer, oh, it's so hard. I think I say cabin in the woods as well.
Okay.
But so here's my reasoning. Because I agree with Carl that there's a lot of cons, and like I think me having fun on the beach outweighs that as well. And I love, like, I can go to the beach for like multiple days and stay there for hours. But I feel like when I go to the woods and I'm just like out there in nature with the ones that I care about, and it's like, especially like at night, you're sitting around the campfire after a
Yes,
long
dude.
day.
Mhm.
Like that, like, that's like the idea. Like, I love that so much.
It's literally like you're camping, and I love camping, but you can also you have a shower and a house
Yeah, you have
to
the
your
good
disposal.
parts of
Yeah.
You have the
at
good
home.
parts
You
of
get-
being
you
at
get-
home and the good parts of being camping
Yeah.
put together however long you want because you own the house and the
Yeah.
land. And then if you own the land where the house is, you can like build other stuff or like put other stuff there too.
Yeah.
Whereas
and
not so much in a beach house because the beach house is surrounded by other beach houses and places and people and stuff like that.
Yeah. And also thinking about this, I look back on memories I had as a kid, where I think it was like a friend of my grandparents. But they had a cabin in the woods in New Mexico, I think. And my family, like, it was a huge one, like 2 stories tall,
Yeah.
multiple rooms, like TVs were in like huge cabin in the woods, like a really nice one.
Mm-hmm.
And my family went there a few times with like all the family on my mom's side. And every time I think about it, like I miss it so much because
Yeah.
I had some of the best like experiences of my life at that place. So as much as I love the beach and this one's really hard, I think I have to go with cabin in the woods.
And
I respect it.
I want to add another thing on here too. So just real quick. I just want to see what you guys think about it. Cabin in the woods, beach house, or a lake house.
Well, lake house.
Would you choose a lake house over those two?
Yeah, because you're pretty much combining them both.
I know that's what I was thinking about.
Like, if you have a boat, like, I'm out there every day.
Yeah,
Like-
I'm definitely a lake person more than a beach person, because I love like tubing and like
And the water
wake
is
surfing.
like
Yeah.
fresh water. So
and it's
not-
fresh water, so it doesn't
It's not
taste like,
freaking salt water.
Yeah.
Ugh.
and it's not like it can be, but it depending on what lake you're at, it's not like really gross like
Yeah.
a lot of the beaches, like
Yeah.
the ocean is, but and there's no sand too, and so it's like, I don't know, and then you also just have like, and some lakes are in the woods, so it's like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you say lake house, that's where I envision. I just
In,
envision
like,
it
in
like
the
in the
woods.
woods, just like a lake in the woods, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I think, yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, I think lake house is even more so the move.
Yeah. Okay, we ready to move on to the last one?
Yeah.
Carter, you want to pick it?
Yeah. So, as we're coming to an end, what would you want to tell your future self? How could you help them, or what would you say to lead them on the right path?
Okay, I can start with this one. I think that. What do I want to tell my future self? I hope you're happy. I hope you haven't screwed it
I
up
hope you're
yet.
not dead yet.
Like, yeah.
Remember those wrong decisions we were talking about before?
Yeah.
Hopefully
don't
those
make
didn't
any of
happen.
those.
Hopefully, you didn't make any of those.
Nah.
I guess what do I want to tell my future self? Do what you love, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
There was a discussion I had when I was ministering that, like, someone was like talking about, oh, I want to find a job that just gives me like the most amount of money. And then so while I've been there, we talked about how, like, if you do what you love,
Yeah.
like, there's this thing like you'll never work a day in your life, which I disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if you are doing what you love, it just makes it a lot easier, more
It makes
bearable.
it more fulfilling.
Yeah. So I think, like, do what you love. Don't let being tired get in the way of things. Because I know a lot of times, like, I'll be tired, so I won't want to go, like, spend time with people. Because I'll just be, like, relaxing. And I don't want to be someone that, like, comes home after a long day of work and doesn't spend any time
Doesn't
with
have
my wife or
time.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And it's hard sometimes too.
yeah, so I want to say that and prioritize my time. And to keep doing the things I love. Don't just be a work man. Keep, like, growing and experiencing.
I'll go next.
Okay.
For me, I'd probably just say like kind of the same things you've said, but also just like don't give up. Like if you're ever down, just like keep going. Like this in Nemo, he kind of when he gets stuck in the tube, he's like, if you get yourself in, you can get yourself out.
Yeah.
Like if you're ever having troubles, just work, and you'll be able to get out of it. Just don't give up. Keep trying. Try to make the best of yourself, because you don't want to get to a certain point in your life and realize, oh, I'm not happy with this, but you're already too late to change, to make yourself happy.
Mm-hmm.
Do it right the first time.
Yeah.
I think, so this question, one of the things that this question made me think about was how 2 years ago in seminary, our seminary teacher had us all one day, and this was like not as a joke, it was like a serious thing that he all had us do. And he had us write a letter, and the letter was titled to like our future kids, or like our future selves, or whatever it might be. More specifically to our future like kids or spouse, but also kind of something that I'll remember in the future, and I still have it. And on the letter, on the envelope, I have it titled "To the Future." And in the letter, I remember sitting there and writing it in this class, and I was thinking about what do I want now as a 17-year-old kid to tell my future self, my future spouse, or my future kids that I might have. And I don't remember exactly what I wrote, and I'm not going to go look back at it until I open it and give it to, those people that I'll in the future be close to. But I remember thinking as I was writing it, I want to convey some level of confidence and faith that things are going to be good, and that the future is always going to be better than the past, into myself and also my kids. Because knowing myself, I worry a lot about the future, and I'm very concerned about it. But I think the phrase that I heard recently that I already mentioned, the future is always better than the past, is true. And I remember thinking that I want myself in the future to know that, kind of what Carter was saying, that like it's going to be okay. Just keep going, just keep on swimming.
Mm-hmm.
And life figures itself out. If you're doing the right things, life has a way of figuring itself out. And it's something that I've always wanted to make myself believe, and I've been working on making myself believe that. And I think if I had to tell my future self anything, I think it would be that. And I would hope that my future self has already figured that out. So I think that's probably the top thing that I would want to tell myself in the future.
Yeah, that's solid. I have nothing to end after that. But just kind of, I'll just head into the outro. We thank you guys for listening. We know that this was kind of just for us, but we hope that you guys could follow along, maybe learn a little bit about us.
And maybe this will help you think about your friends and your relationships that you have now, that you might want to consider just analyzing your own relationships with your friends more.
Yeah. And another thing I hope maybe with this, like you could do this for yourself, I guess. Maybe not
the same exact way.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the exact same way, but it's always cool to have something to look back on.
Mm-hmm.
So I encourage everyone listening to go out and make those experiences. There was this saying that was like things that we're nostalgic about are always good experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So just go out and make them. I think if you do that and you have that mindset, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a world out there. Use your time in it well.
Thanks for watching, and we'll talk at you next time.
Yeah, thank
Bye.
you.